He had always loved speed and water in the same frame. Every time he saw expensive jet skis at the beach, he knew he couldn't afford a brand new one. But he also knew something else: he could try to build his own. What started as a crazy idea slowly turned into the biggest DIY challenge of his life. It all began in his garage, with an empty space and an old metal frame collecting dust. He didn't have blueprints or professional equipment. He only had a vision. He wanted something compact, lightweight, and powerful enough to glide across the water. Before touching any tools, he spent days researching how jet skis actually work. He learned that the core of the machine is the jet propulsion system. Water is pulled in, compressed by an impeller, and forced out the back to create thrust. That meant precision. He would need a properly aligned driveshaft, a strong impeller housing, and an engine capable of handling high RPM under load. There was no room for guesswork. The hull was the next major challenge. Instead of metal, he chose a wooden structure as the base, carefully cutting and shaping marine-grade plywood to form the skeleton. Once the frame was assembled, he reinforced it with multiple layers of fiberglass. The wood gave its structure and form, while the fiberglass provided strength, sealing, and durability against water pressure. Each weld was carefully inspected. On land, mistakes are inconvenient. On water, they can be dangerous. When he stepped back and looked at the frame, he could finally see the silhouette of his future jet ski. Fiberglass work tested his patience. Resin dripped, dust filled the air. The first layer looked rough and uneven. The second improved slightly. By the third layer, the hull finally began to take proper form. After days of curing, sanding began, hours of shaping and smoothing. Slowly, the surface transformed from rough and handmade to sleek and aerodynamic. Choosing the engine was critical. He searched for weeks before finding a used motor in good condition. Instead of installing it immediately, he disassembled it completely, checking pistons, seals, bearings. Mounting the engine required extreme precision. If the alignment with the drive shaft was off by even a few millimeters, vibrations could destroy the system. He fabricated custom mounts and added rubber dampers. The first engine start inside the garage was intense. He turned the key. The engine hesitated, coughed once, then roared to life. The sound echoed off the walls. For the first time, the project felt real. The electrical system came next: starter wiring, switches, safety kill switch. Every connection was sealed and insulated. Water and electricity demand respect. Painting the hull was the most satisfying step. He chose bold colors, something that didn't look factory-made. He wanted it to show personality. When the final clear coat dried, it looked stunning. Launch day arrived with nervous energy. He carefully pushed the jet ski into the water, watching closely for leaks. A few smaller bubbles surfaced, but nothing serious. He climbed on, heart pounding, and pressed the starter. The engine fired up. He gently applied throttle. The jet ski moved forward. A little more throttle and it began gliding smoothly. The first ride wasn't perfect. After several minutes, vibrations became noticeable. He returned to shore and adjusted the alignment. That projects demand patience and constant refinement. Over the following days, he tested and improved everything. He adjusted the nozzle angle for sharper steering response, reinforced weak points in the hull, and improved airflow to the engine. With each test ride, his confidence grew. Speed increased. Handling improved. The machine felt more stable and responsive. Then came the moment he would never forget. He opened the throttle fully. The nose lifted slightly. Water exploded behind him, and the jet ski surged forward with raw power. People on the beach watched with curiosity. Some assumed it was store-bought. When they learned it was built in a garage, their expressions shifted from confusion to disbelief. People on the beach watched with curiosity. Some assumed it was store-bought. When they learned it was built in a garage, their expressions shifted from confusion to disbelief. Not everything went smoothly. One day, debris was sucked into the intake system, forcing him to disassemble the jet unit completely. But every setback made him more skilled. He became more patient, more precise, more confident in his work. Soon, he began thinking about upgrades: better seat cushioning, a digital speed display, improved intake protection. Each improvement made the jet ski more personal. It was no longer just a machine, it was a reflection of effort and persistence. Friends began asking if he could build one for them. For the first time, the project felt bigger than a hobby. Still, he wanted to perfect his own creation first. Make it lighter, faster, cleaner in design. He considered installing a higher performance impeller and refining the exhaust system for better flow. Every modification required research, testing, and learning. The process never truly stopped. The project taught him patience. Nothing meaningful happens overnight. It taught him discipline, consistent effort, even when motivation was low. It also taught him that mistakes are not failures. They are part of building something real. Now, whenever he starts the engine, he doesn't just hear mechanical noise. He hears the hours of work behind it. Every scratch on the hull carries a story. Every bolt represents a decision. It may not be the fastest jet ski on the water, but it is the most personal one out there. And every time he rides across open water, he remembers why he started. Not for money, not for attention, but for the challenge, for the thrill of building something with his own hands. Because the greatest satisfaction doesn't come from buying something finished. It comes from creating it and watching it come alive on the water. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. See you in the next video.